Patreon Q&A number 35. I want to thank all 69 of my amazing patrons. Guys, I really am incredibly grateful for everything that you do for me. All of the support that you have shown me these past couple months, especially considering the way things are for me. But at least I'm almost there. It's almost over and we get back to normal pretty soon. So once again, thank you for supporting me along the way. To everyone else listening, there's definitely going to be spoilers in these questions and answers, so tread carefully after this point. Joesph O asked, after watching the most recent episode and seeing Suiryu, it got me thinking, do you think he will play a larger role during the Neo Heroes arc? With Bang retiring, that leaves an opening for a martial artist to join the Heroes, and I could see Suiryu being interested in joining the Neo Heroes after witnessing Saitama risk his life during the super fight. So I was curious what your thoughts are on Suiryu. As always, man, keep up the great content, like and comment. Hey, thanks for everything you do for me, Joe. You know I love you, man. So I do think there is a good possibility Suiryu could be joining the Neo Heroes. So let's get into it. So, of course, Suiryu isn't originally in the webcomic. He is a manga-exclusive character, just like many others that we see in Season 2. So it's really up in the air if he will even be in the webcomic at all. However, recently in the webcomic, I think chapter 111, we saw Sourface, just like one single panel of him in that chapter. And Sourface, just like Suiryu, is only in the manga, well, at least at this point. So this is the first instance we're seeing of a manga-exclusive character crossing over into the webcomic continuity. And let me just clarify that there are two different continuities to the webcomic and the manga. Both are canon in their own way, and one doesn't really supersede the other, but it's all one, story in the end. So does that mean that other characters that are manga exclusive will be coming to the webcomic afterwards? I think so. I think there's a good chance. I mean, why would it just be Sourface? These are all one's characters. Like, he's created all of them. He knows how they all work. He is the writer of the One Punch Man manga as well. So, he loves all these characters, so why not have them come back and forth and vice versa, So I do think that we will see more manga characters, and I do think we are going to see Suiryu in the new arc in the webcomic eventually. And if the new chapter releases this week or next week or whenever, I think it's a good chance we might see Suiryu then, like that soon. Because we are seeing him in the anime, and I know there's a lot of casuals out there, even in Japan, who are first being introduced to Suiryu now, so they're definitely enticed by this character. They want to see more of him, and maybe they've already, gone deep into the fandom and have already gotten to the webcomic, and they want to see more of him. And like you said, it's a perfect opportunity for him to come into the story with the Neo Heroes, since they do need new characters who are on the S-Class level, and it's already been hinted at that they have a few of them. Like, not only just heroes crossing over from the association, but like just random guys out there that are super powerful that just haven't aligned themselves to the heroes or the villains or whatever else. So Suiryu fits that category, and I think a good opportunity to introduce him into the webcomic would be with the Neo Heroes. So when we last touched on the Neo Heroes, I also think it was chapter 111, maybe 110, around there, when we see Metalbat, Darkshine, and Child Emperor all meet up with that one guy's name. It's Mick something. McCaverty. I forget his name. The eye patch guy. And then they're talking and whatnot, and then the eye patch guy is like, hey, let's go meet the rest of the S-Class, or the strongest Neo Heroes, or just all the Neo Heroes in general. And then they go into the room, and we don't see anything after that. So I think it would be cool if they go into that room, and we see, like, Suiryu sitting there. And it's like, oh, hey, who are you? And he's like, yeah, I'm just a super powerful martial artist dude who pretty much just does it for the money, but I was recently inspired to join just a hero association in general. I was just inspired to be a hero, so that's why he showed up. But he's still more or less probably going to have his baseline personality that we were introduced to in Season 2. So I originally thought that Suiryu was probably going to join the Hero Association, because that's what Saitama is associated with, and we know that he is a Saitama stan, but that of course is in the manga continuity. So given that this is a webcomic, it's likely that they're just going to introduce Suiryu as just, the same that he is in the manga, but he just randomly joins the Neo Heroes, or at least that's what I hope happens. happens. Zapphod B asks, Zhoniin, if Moomin Rider was given a souped-up motorcycle and a license to go as fast as he wanted by the Hero Association, and he decided to move from C-Class Rank 1, what rank could he achieve as the licensed rider? Hey, thank you for your continued support and everything they do for me, Zapphod. I appreciate it so much, my friend. So this is an interesting question, and I kind of wanted to make like a video about this, just whenever I got the chance to talk about Moomin Rider, just for a video dedicated to him. But yeah, so I think this would be cool if this happened, and I actually do think something like this is going to happen in the story. I mean, come on, Moomin Rider definitely deserves it. If anyone deserves something like this, it is him. I mean, come on. But if this were to happen, I think he wouldn't really go much higher than what he currently is, so he'd be like in the low B rankings, He's not going to A. I don't even think he's going to high B class. He's not going to be up there with like the Blizzard group, the high-ranking dudes from there. I just think he's going to be around, I don't know, rank 80 or whatever, rank 50 B class, whatever the B class rankings are. He'd be around there. I mean, yes, he is getting a better mode of transportation. You're saying it's souped up, so he can go pretty damn fast, and that is significant. But other than that, he's still Moomin Rider, like after he gets off the bike, there's not really much more he could do at that point. Now, granted, his Justice Crash becomes significantly more powerful at this point. But he's really limited to what he was going to do with it. I mean, is he really going to kill the monster? We haven't really seen him kill any monsters. But I assume that he kind of has to, because, they do lock up monsters, so I guess he does lock up the monsters. But yeah, I mean, like I said, he's real conflicted with that stuff, so even if he did have, like, a super powerful death machine, like a motorcycle that he can crash into something, it's really debatable if he's really even going to use it to, like, kill them, and how far could he really go to incapacitate them with it, you know what I mean? But other than that, low B class, but B class nonetheless, so that's still pretty good. I mean, he is the C class rank 1 after all. But yeah, so that's how I feel about Moomin Rider with his actual motorcycle and a license where he can just go as fast as he wants. Dat Boi asks, finally reset my password. I'm back, baby. When people call you Big Z, do you think of the cartoon Surf's Up? I do. Bye, papa. Hey, thanks for coming back to the Q&A video, Dat Boi. Appreciate it, my friend, or should I say my boy. So, no, I don't think of Big Z from Cartoon Surf's Up. I don't think I've seen that, but I'm aware of it. I remember the trailer and all the promotional stuff that it came out when I was a little kid, or, around that time. But it makes sense. But when people call me Big Z, I guess it's just like a common nickname that, people just get, like, take whatever and just say big to it. Like, I know that a lot of other big YouTubers have, like, big whatever to their original name, and hey, I take it as a compliment, a very high compliment. I appreciate you guys, all the nicknames you give me, the good ones for the most part. But I'm not really a big guy either, but it is nice to be called big, rather than like Little Z, unless I'm like a rapper, then you call me Lil Z, and that would be kind of cool. Joesph K asks, hey Zhoniin, when your channel has the strikes expire, will you be able to re-upload the videos you had to private, or do you think they will have to stay private to not risk them getting immediately struck again? What was your reaction to Game of Thrones this season? I really am not invested since I've not watched in ages, but people seem pretty pissed/depressed. Did you have any strong reactions, or does every disappointment in this world now pale in comparison after Metal Bat's betrayal? Peace, man. Hey, thanks for your continued support, Joe. I appreciate it, my friend. So those videos, I would love for them to all come back. I really do. I mean, come on, all the work that was put into them. And I know how much you guys enjoy them, and I'm super grateful that you even do enjoy them as much as you do. So I'm going to talk to a network. Like, I was talking to a multi-channel network, an MCN, before I had the strikes, but unfortunately I did get the strikes, and that kind of halted the negotiations that I had with them. Like, you can't really join a network, especially like one of the top networks, which is one of the ones I'm talking to, if you have strikes on your account. So once my strikes have expired, I'm going to talk to the network, see what they can do for me in being able to get these videos back up. So we'll see what happens at that point. I'm hoping for the best, but we'll see what happens. After that, Game of Thrones. So this season has had like so much negative reception so far, like maybe even more so than One Punch Man season 2, or maybe they're similar, I guess, the reception that they're getting. But I don't know, I'm not displeased by this season, but I'm not like pleased. I'm kind of ambivalent towards it. I'm glad that it's made. I appreciate that I've been able to watch the series as long as I have. Like, I started at season 2, so this, just like the MCU and, the other series that we follow, like One Piece, this show is like a part of me now. It's like grown up with me. So it's nice to see it come to an end. It's nice to have some finality, and I don't think the ending was completely disappointing. Of course, it could end better. I mean, most things could end better and end in a way that we appreciated more, but unfortunately it didn't. But it could be a lot worse in my opinion, and the ending's fine. It's a little odd how they just kind of, like in the last 3 episodes, kind of just changed everything and went in a completely different direction than what we all assumed it was going to be. But like I said, things aren't necessarily made for us to like them. If that makes sense, like, we're supposed to enjoy it, but it's not supposed to be perfect so that everybody is satisfied with the ending. Like, sometimes people just want things to get done the way that they do. And I think social media has kind of skewed that in recent times, like how it has a voice now, so everyone can just easily sync up into these hive minds to where it's like, oh, this didn't go the way that we wanted, that means it sucks, that means it's awful, get it out of here, or get it remade. But there was plenty of things back in the day that were made that were controversial and didn't exactly end the way that people wanted that to. But people, I think, still understood that, hey, that's just the way it is. That's how the artist wanted to get his point across, his vision across, whatever it is. But, maybe a time for that is over. Maybe you just have to make stuff that is going to be accepted by the consensus as good, or at least quality, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's fine. It's whatever. It could have been better. I'm not like super disappointed by it. I feel the same way about Metal Bat, but I'm just really more so disappointed in the Metal Bat thing more than I am with Game of Thrones. I'll say that. Like, Metal Bat certainly deserved way more than what he got in like his very brief appearance in the series. It's too bad because, like, after that, Metal Bat is going to be benched until chapter 111 or chapter 110. No, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the webcomic, but like he, way into the webcomic does Metal Bat come back. Like during the Saitama versus Tatsumaki fight, that's when he comes back. Joesph M asks, hi, Big Z. Few questions today. My first question for today is, what would Boss Suzuki, Mob Psycho 2 disaster level and overall power in the world of One Punch Man? Next item today is a spicy new OC, this time from the world of Dragon Ball. Let me introduce you to Dr. Stroganoff, an elderly scientist from the beautiful realm of Universe 2. Due to his aging appearance, Stroganoff uses biotechnology to reverse his aging in combat. In battle, he's a dashing, comically attractive fighter. Stroganoff also has his own transformation as well. When pushed to his body's absolute limit, he can call on dormant nanomachines in his blood to mass replicate and coat his entire body in a metallic liquid substance. These love bots, as he calls them, create a sleek metallic transformation around his body. Thick metal cooler, but pink. My final question today is less of a question and more of a suggestion. If you're into strategy games / role playing, I highly recommend you check out Crusader Kings 2 by Paradox Interactive. More specifically, check out the After the End fanfork Total Conversation. After the End takes place in a post-apocalyptic United States ravaged by an unknown apocalyptic disaster known as the Event. You got tons of new apocalyptic religions and cultures to choose from. The Norse in the Great Lakes, who abandoned Christianity to follow the neo-pagan revival of the Norse faith, heavily influenced by local sports teams and Marvel comics to add to their mythos. The Celtics in California, who follow a pantheon of gurus like Buddha, Jesus, Carl Sagan, L. Ron Hubbard. The occultists, who follow the works of H.P. Lovecraft and Stephen King. So many to choose from. I hope you can use my Patreon bucks to play this amazing mod. Hugs and kisses, Josh. Hey, thank you for your continued patronage, Josh. I appreciate so much, my friend. So I think Suzuki would definitely be a dragon. I mean, his powers are pretty damn significant at the end of that season. I mean, he's more or less like a city buster or close to it at that point. And given like the parameters of his, you know, exact abilities that he can do and whatnot, similar to Tatsumaki, but not exactly. Regardless, that set of powers is, as we've seen, is super significant in the world of One Punch Man, so he would definitely be a dragon. I don't think he's pushing up to above dragon at that point. I'm sure some people will disagree with me at that, but that's fine. Just as of right now, he doesn't really seem like above dragon to me. Of course, I haven't really gone in depth into this guy and made like how strong his video about him to accurately assess his power, but just right now he feels like maybe a mid dragon, possibly high, but just for now I'll say mid dragon. But yeah, still pretty damn powerful, and I love that whole sequence with him at the when Mob fights him. So good, so epic. So I love your OC here. This is one of your better ones because it really does feel like a Dragon Ball character. Like Dr. Stroganoff would totally be a Toriyama name, or like a name that somebody who's trying to emulate Toriyama would make, you know, such as Toyotaro. But yeah, I really like it. And how is your OC channel going? Have you any updates on that? Have you been working on it? Did you get any gear or equipment for it? Let me know what you're doing with that, because you know, when you do make it, I'll give you a shout out on here next time you post your question. I'll give you a shout out to your channel, have other people check it out. You know, all of you people who like OC out there, because like I said before, there is a community of people who enjoy manga, battle anime OC. Like I said, Dragon Ball has a huge friggin' community for that stuff. Like some people, you know, have built their channels on that stuff, like huge channels. Like, you know, guys like Broku. No, I'm sorry, he's not OC. He's OC stories, not OC characters. But there are OC characters and story and combined channels too out there. So I checked out the Crusader Kings 2 game, and I checked out the mod for it that you're talking about. It all looks pretty cool. I've never really played RTSs before. I think like the only RTS I've ever played is like StarCraft way back in the day. But I will check this out. I don't really typically play games like this, but if you feel that strongly about it, I suppose I have to give it a try, or at least demo it if there is one. You know, I'll see what it's about. But I do like the aspect that you're talking about at the end here, where they're like creating religions out of like Carl Sagan, H.P. Lovecraft, and Stephen King. I think that's super interesting. I'd like to see more of that, so I will look into it. And again, thanks for all the support, my friend. Legandaryus asks, hey Zhoniin, what classic games have you played? Do you think that not only the heroes of One Punch Man have been buffed, but also the monsters? Rover seems stronger than he was then the webcomic along with Garo. Wish Super S survived along with Rover and Black S instead of dying to a My Mask so fast and quick. Hope we see more unique monsters after the Monster Association arc. Have noticed less monsters appear after that arc compared to before. Thank you so much for your continued long-time support, Legandaryus. I appreciate it so much, but bro. So I'm not really even sure what classifies as like a classic game nowadays, because I don't really remember playing anything before PlayStation 1. So that's pretty much classic to me. So anything before that I haven't really messed around with, but like classic games to me at this point are like Final Fantasy VII, Tekken 2, Tekken 3, you know, stuff around there. So those are like the classic games that I've played, but other than that I don't really go any deeper than that. So I do think the heroes and the monsters have gained significant power compared to the webcomic. Like it's a whole different like power scale at this point. I mean, it kind of started after the Boros arc. I mean, we've really saw it on display with the discrepancy in power between webcomic Boros and manga Boros. But then after that, it just kept getting more outrageous. And now in this current arc that we're in the manga, it's been the most outrageous it's ever been. Just like what you're saying here, Rover seems stronger. I mean, because he is one of the ones, I suppose, that gets one of the biggest power buffs. I mean, he did survive the punch from Saitama in the webcomic, and, you know, the Cross-Fang Dragon Slayer Fist from Bang and Bomb and all of that stuff. I mean, he even loses to Garo in the webcomic. Like, Garo makes him sit successfully in the webcomic, but in the manga, it's a completely different story. He just gets utterly wrecked by Rover. And then, of course, we saw, like, the crazy big impact of what the actual punch from Saitama looks like in the manga, which we don't get to see in the webcomic. So the fact that Rover's even going to survive that, and then after that, he's going to go on to take the manga version of the Cross-Fang Dragon Slayer Fist. And I think that's going to be the first instance that we're actually seeing it on display in the manga, so that's going to be pretty cool when that happens. But yeah, everyone has become way stronger. Darkshine too. If not Rover, Darkshine has received one of the biggest buffs in the series so far, coming over from the webcomic to the manga. So that's going to make his fight with Garo all the more interesting, because we know how that's going to go down. So it's going to make Garo look even better, or should I say pre-Woke Garo, half monster Garo, look even better. So that would be kind of interesting if Super S, who I assume you're talking about here, DOTS, I think you're talking about Super S, DOS, the Dominatrix monster, because you say it instead of dying in my mess so quick. That would have been interesting if she survived afterwards, but I'm not sure what would happen, where her story would go. Like, would she become a good guy? But she'd still be a monster. But would she kind of just become like how Hellfire and Gale are? Like, they're kind of just off to the side. They're like a neutral character, like chaotic neutral in a way, maybe. That would be interesting, because you know that's another female character, and it's like a female pseudo-villain, and we don't really have any of those. So that would be cool to have. But man, she would have to really have a 180 on her character if she was going to have to survive. Kind of like Rover and Black Ass. Black Ass is definitely still evil. I don't think he's going to become a full-blown good guy. I mean, we know that his intentions are to just become stronger, eat more, and build up his cell count, because I assume he just wants to get his revenge, or just, I don't know, go back to being a monster. Nothing good is in store for Black Ass. I really don't see him turning face in this story. I mean, he's going to come back for sure. And as for the monsters appearing less, I think it's because one kind of just wants to take a breather from all the monsters, because the previous arc, the Monster Association arc, was just nothing but monsters, hero versus monsters. So I think he's just trying to take a break from that for now, and we're just going to see hero and hero stuff for a while, you know, like the alleged upcoming civil war that we're going to see in the Neo Heroes arc. So I think that's why he's kind of doing it. Raul M asks, yo, what a big Z. My question this week is, what do you think of the Cowboy versus Ferguson fight? I think he deserves the big money fight with Connor, or a title fight, but I still think the Ferguson fight is going to be great for the hardcore fans. Yo, Big Z, I got a second question. Where would you rank Asta from Black Clover? Hey, thanks for your continued patronage, Raul. I appreciate it so much, my friend. So I am super excited for Cowboy versus Tony. It's going to be amazing. I mean, I would be really surprised if that fight wasn't incredible for at least like a minute. Really debatable how long it's going to go. Both of these guys are finishers. Both of these guys can be finished. Tony seems to have more durability than Cowboy at this point in their respective careers. He seems to be grittier and more tougher than Cowboy, but not by much, of course. I'm not saying Cowboy's a chump. We all know Cowboy. We all know how tough he is, but it just seems like Ferguson's hungrier than him, wants it more. At least that's just how I see it. Are you saying that you feel that Cowboy deserves the big money fight or a title fight? So I do think Cowboy definitely deserves a fight against Connor. I mean, why not? Connor even said he wants it, but more deserving so is Tony for sure. Tony's on like an 11-fight win streak right now, which is incredible, especially in the lightweight division, one of the deepest and the most skilled and toughest divisions there is in the sport. And he was the interim champion. Like, I think even before Khabib was, right? When he defeated Kevin Lee. I think that was like 2017 maybe. But then, of course, he got stripped of the title. So I think Tony is just taking this fight just because I think he doesn't want to be benched so long, and he wants to take a fight before Khabib is ready, because I don't think Khabib is going to be ready until October or September, somewhere around there. Maybe November. So I guess he's just taking this fight in the meantime. But the fight that we need to see before these guys retire is Khabib versus Tony. Like, they've been trying to set that fight up for, I don't know, 4 years now, 3 years, something like that. But it always keeps getting canceled, either to politics or injuries or something like that, or proper prep coming into the fight. So I think that fight is like what we need to see. I think both of them are in 11-fight win streaks. And both, have like a piece of the title in their own way. I mean, I know Khabib is the undisputed champion, but there are still pieces of that title that belongs to Tony. Like, Tony has just been out there grinding and working. He deserves it. So after this fight, which I think Tony is going to defeat Cowboy, I think it's pretty likely that he will. But given my prediction here, totally put your money on Cowboy. If I'm saying that Tony is going to win, he's probably going to lose. But regardless, it's going to be an incredible fight. And I hope that Tony is able to fight the winner of Khabib versus Dustin Poirier afterwards. And Asta, he would totally be a demon. I'm only going off of his anime feats at this point. I don't know the nuances of manga Asta. I don't know how much more powerful he becomes. Not even sure if he goes into dragon territory yet. The series is still kind of young for him to be pushing that kind of power. But as of right now, you know, all the magic he has and all and the agility and the durability that he has is totally on the demon level. He might be a high demon, but I'll have to look more into it. But I think he is, at the minimum, mid to high for sure. Wolf Pup asks, howdy Shonen, okie dokie. If you don't mind me asking, what class are you going to pick when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out? Personally, I like the healer class. 6-arm Bug God versus Zombie Man, Death Gun, and 1 Shooter. All 3 heroes are equipped with armor-piercing rounds, so let's replace One-Shotter's 50 cal Beretta with a PTRD-41 anti-tank rifle at a high vantage point, giving him an advantage. Death Gatling with his Gatling gun, and for Zombie Man, let's give him a liquid nitrogen tank strap on his back, kind of like a flamethrower, but this one shoots liquid nitrogen. If they were to plan it strategically, would they have a chance at winning? Please explain and why. I would love to see this animated. Also, make this short. What are the chances of Child Emperor running into Neon? So right after his fight with Phoenix Man, Neon comes out from the cracks that are on the walls and his face is faced with Child Emperor. He hesitates. What to do next? And G5 surprisingly shows up behind Child Emperor. G5 transforms and none other than Drive Knight and tells him to escape to the surface with Waganma. I know it's a long stretch, but whatever. My ass and ass for my sexy question. Fubuki, Captain Mizuki, Midnight, Mount Lady, Catwoman, Super S, Mosquito Girl, Tatsumaki, Laura Croft, and Jill Valentine. Playboy Magazine. Who wins first, second, third place, and why? Favorites comedy. I love Good Luck Girl and Haven't You Heard I'm Sakamoto? It's hilarious. LOL, arigato sensei. Just finished watching The Promised Neverland. All 12 episodes yesterday. I'm excited for season 2. Got to catch up on the manga as well as My Hero Academia. Thank you so much for your continued support, Wolf Pup. I mean, everything that you've done for me these last couple months is really incredible, and I'm beyond grateful for it. So just thank you so much. So I'm probably going to pick Imperial in Elder Scrolls 6 because the class or the type of character that I have to play is the Paladin. You know, like a weapon and magic. I like to use like magic in one hand and a weapon in the other. I think that's pretty cool. And Imperial is usually the best race to go about when doing that kind of character. So that's going to be it more or less. Unless there's like a new class or maybe new race or 2 classes or, you know, new stuff in Elder Scrolls 6 that will like sway my opinion. I'm kind of hoping on that because I want something new and interesting. Or maybe there's like a change to an existing class or race and whatnot. But more or less it's going to be an Imperial Paladin. That's what I like to play. But the healer is cool too. I do find fun in being that type of class. And, you know, maybe I'll dabble in healing. You know, I like to be kind of eclectic with my play style, especially in Elder Scrolls games. Just Bethesda games in general. So the 6-arm Bug God versus Zombie Man, Death Gatling, and One-Shotter. I think this is overkill, actually. I do think they have more than a chance of winning. Because I honestly think Zombie Man can get the job done by himself. Yeah, I do think Zombie Man can totally take care of Bug God, even in his 6-arm mode. It would take him a while, of course, but I think he would eventually do it. But for the sake of this, so One-Shotter would be at a safe distance. So I don't think One-Shotter is going to be doing much in this fight. I think he's just going to be chilling until the time is right for him to use his gun to just, like, take care of whatever's left of Bug God. Like, one clean headshot whenever they have the chance to do it, or whenever it's set up properly. So I'm not even entirely sure if the liquid nitrogen is really going to work on Bug God here. He might be just way too resilient or strong for something like that to even affect him. So if it does, I guess it helps him. But if not, I really don't think it's going to change too much here. It's really debatable if it could work. Maybe it could, maybe it wouldn't. I just don't think it would be enough for him. Maybe if there was enough of it, maybe if he was like thrown into like a pool of it, that would be something different. But if he's just getting shot with it from like a flamethrower type device, I'm not sure if it would affect him. But regardless, I do think Death Gatling with cover and support fire with Zombie Man just taking him head on is more than enough to take care of him here. And like I said, when the opportunity is right, they probably give the signal or the go ahead to one-shot her, to just give him the coup de grace, like the one big PTRD 41 anti-tank rifle bullet straight to his dome when he's vulnerable enough to receive such a shot. So Child Emperor running into Neon, debatable, not sure, but I do think Child Emperor is going to probably run into someone before he gets annihilated by the evil natural water, so we do know that's what's going to happen next. Likely it's going to happen the same way it does in the webcomic. Child Emperor is going to discover the disciples who had been wrecked by evil natural water, but before that we have to see the disciples successfully take down Devil Longhair. So in between that, I guess Child Emperor is going to run into somebody because he has to get rid of Waganma. Yeah, like I've been saying, I think Drive Knight is going to take Waganma to the surface. It's obviously not going to be Child Emperor because he's going to get wrecked by the evil natural water, and he's going to stick around until the very end to see the fight with Awakened Garo. So I guess it is possible that he runs into Neon. I mean, he's got to run into somebody, and we know Neon is out there. We know Neon is going around the Monster Association. So I guess it's a good chance that he does run into him, because we also don't know the fate of Neon. We don't know where his story is headed. So it's possible that he does run into Child Emperor and then has to face off against Drive Knight. I think that would be awesome. And if Drive Knight is able to defeat Neon, that would, really do him justice. And it would really show us more about Drive Knight, because we haven't seen much about this guy, and we do know that Murata said that he will be joining the fight in the Monster Association. So I think it is more likely than ever that he is G5 at this point. But when that all combines and it is fully revealed, not sure where it's headed, but it does make sense that it's Neon, since we don't know what is going to happen with him. So maybe he was implanted as a device for Waganma, Child Emperor, and Drive Knight. Hey, I hope it all does happen. So as for your last question, top 3 in this, I think it's going to be number 1. Did you not put Fubuki in here? Oh yeah, Fubuki's number 1. Okay, so Fubuki is totally number 1. I think she is the best girl here so far. Number 2, man, it's stacked. It's tough. I'm not really too sure what Jill Valentine is like. I know what she's like in her... Wait, is Jill in Resident Evil 5? Is she like evil in that game? Or is that Claire? I don't remember, but Jill... I want to put her higher. I think she has the right proportions and the right bodies that needs to take second place here. So, yeah, I'm going to give second place to Jill. I think she's pretty stacked. And then number 3, it's really up in the air. Midnight's pretty good. The manga version of Midnight is even better. So I'll give third place to Midnight. I think she wins this. So it's like Fubuki, Jill, and Midnight in the top 3. And then I think they're winning just because they have the best bodies and they're the most attractive. That's pretty much it. I mean, if we're going by PB magazine standards, I don't know what their standards are nowadays, but I remember when they were relevant, it was just who was the hottest. So yeah, that's what I'm putting it down to. And as for comedies, I don't really get too much into anime comedies, so I'm not familiar with Haven't You Heard of Sakimoto and Good Luck Girl. I did Google them, but the one that I can totally vouch for that I have seen and I love, Cromartie High School, 26 episodes, all fantastic, very well written, very funny. It is super Japanese, but Japanese enough in a funny way to where it can just, I think most cultures can appreciate it. It's not too esoteric to where the jokes only land if you're from Japan. I think everyone can really get on board with it. And it's super funny. And like I said, very smart the way that it's written. And interesting too. And it kind of has battle elements to it. It's a pretty unique series. Very fun, very absurd. And then I did see The Promised Neverland. I enjoyed it. All 12 episodes were fantastic, especially the end. But unfortunately, I think I've heard that it kind of goes downhill after this. This is the peak of it, essentially, unfortunately. Episode 12 is the peak of the series. And then after that, it kind of just never really is as good as that. At least that's what I've heard. I hope that's not correct, but I think that is the case here. But I'm not trying to ruin any expectations for you here. And then, yeah, please catch up on the manga of My Hero. If anything you're going to catch up on, please catch up on My Hero. It is fantastic. One of the best in the game right now, if not the best. It's debatable. I'm not saying it is, but it's up there. Can be debated that it is. And the current season is incredible. The current season is amazing. and the manga. It is so good. It just keeps getting better every week, so please check that out. My granny asked, to all the people hating on my grandson, what the heck did you just hecking say about my grandson, you little punk? I'll have you know I graduated top of my class in the knitting, and I've been involved in numerous morning shows about proper tea etiquette, and I have over 300 confirmed mittens woven. I am trained in gardening warfare, and I am the top grandma in the subdivision. You are nothing to me but just another cheek to pinch. I could just eat you up the heck up with precision, the likes of which has never been seen before on my well-established knitting circle. Mark my hecking words. You think you can get away with saying that stuff to my grandson over the internet? Think again, delinquent. As we speak, I am contacting my secret network of senior citizens across the USA, and your IP is being traced right now, so you better prepare for the storm, hater. The storm that sends you dozens of disgruntled and well-meaning letters that wipes out the pathetic little thing you call your internet persona. You're hecking dead, Sonny. I could be somewhere at some times, and I can time you out in over 700 ways, and that's just with a stern look. Not only am I extensively trained in peaceful resolution, but I have access to the entire arsenal of the Elderly People's Knitting Society, and I will use it to its full extent to gingerly remove your disagreeable comments off the face of the internet, you little brat. If only you could have known what unholy retribution your little clever comment was about to bring down upon you. Maybe you would have held your hecking tongue, but you wouldn't. You didn't, and now you're paying the piper. You gosh darn fool! I will pour confectionery treats all over you, and you will drown in it. You're hecking done, kiddo. Hey, thank you for getting my back, Granny. I appreciate it so much, and I love that. 10 out of 10. I do know the reference. I love it. Well done. Thank you so much. You're the best. So that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Once again, I want to thank all 69 of my amazing, attractive patrons. Thank you for supporting me all this time, guys. I'm beyond grateful for it. That's all I can really say, and I really do hope things get back to normal soon. I will make things better, I promise you guys. So if you'd like to be a part of next week's Q&A, simply check out my Patreon. The $5 tier will give you access to this video. And if you liked it, please give it a like. And if you haven't already subscribed as well, have a great day, everyone. I'll see you in the next one.